Hello everyone, I'm Julie Jameson, otherwise known as Geordie in my wee music world, and I'm recording this currently from my phone because in this first episode of my podcast I found myself very cringy when I looked back at the start of it. So I'm just doing a little introduction to the podcast over the picture of the podcast logo. If you're watching this, then you'll see that, but if you're just listening, then that is irrelevant. And yeah, I've just decided to do a wee podcast, mostly aimed at artists, producers, songwriters and other creatives in the music industry, or just anyone interested in the music industry, music business, or anyone that just wants to be nosy and have a listen to what I'm up to. Any of the fans out there, all three of them. So yeah, that's just a wee introduction, and just going to get right into it with this first episode of How Not to Be an Artist. Hope you enjoy. So my goal is to have guests on here and just chat about being an artist or being in the creative industry, and just the struggle, especially as an independent artist, and the modern times where it's hard, like it's so hard. I mean, social media is amazing because it gives you that free promotion and marketing, but that is like the main way that people are getting, the main and only way really that people are getting seen and heard. And yeah, just having to navigate yourself as well as, you know, doing your music. Like, we get into music because we want to perform music, we want to write, we want to do all things that involve music. So then having all these other additional things where we have to manage ourselves and promote and market and book venues and just all that shit. It's difficult. So yeah, my goal is with this podcast to have guests come on here and just discuss their experiences as an artist or a creative within this industry that nowadays I find is just so difficult. I mean, social media is amazing because we've got a free tool for marketing and promotion. But if you're just not good at that, or just don't have the motivation, or you're just busy with doing what it is you want to do, which is performing music, making music, writing, production, whatever, it is really hard. And yeah, being an independent artist, I mean, I've not released much, I've not really performed much. I've been at uni for the last 3 years, obviously finished my studies now, and I thought, well, I'm just going to write so much and get out there, and like, it really is hard. Like, I think it is on me, but also it's just difficult to navigate yourself when you just don't know how. So yeah, I just want to get insights from other people, and I think that will help whoever is listening if you are an artist or creative. But also it's just quite nice to listen to people's journeys and what they've got to say. Yeah, that is what I hope for this. So, as some of you may or may not know, I've recently released a track called Lonely. This song, it didn't take me long to write at all, but the production side of it was such a long process. I worked on it with a producer called Sean Kordansky, and yeah, he's a brilliant producer. And we were just like working on it together for quite some time, because I was finding out what kind of style, not just for that song, but like finding me as an artist, I guess, like what my style was, what path I wanted to go down. I'd gone from just being this acoustic style artist sitting there with a guitar and a mic into, I like Massive Attack now, and I like I don't know, people like Bonobo, just like live electronic style stuff, and other elements, even like R&B. Georgia Smith was an influence as well, and I was just going down all these different avenues of like, there's so much more than just sitting here with a guitar and a vocal. And yeah, he like kind of put all that together into one of all these different styles and genres. So I guess when someone asks me what genre I am, I don't fucking know. Yeah, just I don't really know at the moment. But anyway, that was a long process, but it was so worth it because I learned a lot through that that process. And the release took quite some time in itself as well. I spoke to a lot of like lecturers that work at my uni, but they're well experienced in the music industry. They know what they're talking about. They're promoters and label owners and whatever else. I was advised to market and promote it as much as I could before the release. In hindsight, I kind of wish that I just got it out there, because it was like my first track within like this new sort of style that I'm doing. Just got it out and then I'd have something out, because I feel like people are just then waiting. They're not that interested because they've not really heard much from me before. So it would have been better to have just put that out as soon as I could, and then had more marketing for other things. But where I am now, and you live and you learn, and it's I'm grateful for the whole experience. But moving forward, I'm going into like a new, not new style, but I'm taking influences from my own. I don't know how to say that. But anyway, moving on from that, I'm trying to go into a new, still probably more electronic style of writing. Bonobo, sort of Maribou State influences. But the difficulty is that I've got access to, as I said, all the equipment and instruments here at BIM Uni in Manchester, but I need to be getting those for myself, and obviously just finishing studies, I'm not exactly loaded with cash at the moment. So that's where funding comes in, and hopefully we'll get the funding that I need for that, so I can go down that kind of avenue. That is more in terms of performance, but I could just get started in the writing. I'm sort of looking to collaborate with, I have been collaborating with other people, but I do want to write that style myself as well. But basically with this podcast, I feel so weird saying that, I just want to be as open as I can be and say things like, I've hardly put out any music, I hardly perform, which makes me question when I say I'm an artist, like, how can I be an artist? But what does even define an artist, really? And then it's like, I'm not doing it as a career, I'm doing finger quotes here. I don't even know where I'm going with that part. And I guess my advice for what my experience has been in this first proper release of a track is that you will always get conflicting advice on how to promote and market, and just research as much as you can, talk to as many people as you can. It is all a learning curve. Like, I look back and just think, why the hell did I take so fucking long to bring out like one song? And it's just, and now where I'm at, I'm just so ready to move on with it, like move on from it, sorry. And I've ended up not liking this. Well, I still like the song, but I've ended up being like, oh, I can't be bothered with it. Like, I don't even want to talk about it now, because it was just such a long build up and long process. So if people are telling you like, oh, you need 8 weeks of promoting this track before you can release it, so that people know that it's coming and you've got a lot of traction for it. Like, if you can't really be bothered with that, you don't have to do it. Just fucking release a song if you want to release a song. There's no right or wrong in this. I mean, you could just release a song and not even put anything on social media. Like, what, are you going to get arrested? Like, what is the problem with that? Like, I get why it is good to do these things, especially if this is like a serious career for you. I say that as if that's not for me. I do take it seriously, but if that's something that you find difficult and you're at that stage where you are independent, then it's, I think what works for you will work for you, and you can only find that out from the process. That's my take on it. Like, people can just make music just because they want to make music and just let people listen to it. Like, they maybe don't even care about, a lot of, like, getting a big fan base or whatever. One other thing that I wanted to talk about, while I'm doing this on my own, which feels really strange, but hopefully on the next episode, I'm hoping to have someone to interview. Well, interview, is that the right word? Yeah, interview, or just to have a chat with, really. But this was really to get my experience across, and as I said before, there is never any right or wrong with this. The struggle with this industry, the struggle is that there's no right or wrong. Like, that is a good thing in certain ways, but it's also really difficult. And there's no real structure that's like a fits all kind of scenario. It's going to be different for everybody, and there's no proper rule book of what you're going to be doing as just a creative in general. It's all test and try for yourself. And where I am right now in my life, at my age of 28 years old, I hate saying my age out loud. I still think that I'm like 18, but anyway. I thought, at 21, I thought, oh my god, I've not got this figured out. Like, I thought, like, I was running behind at 21, and at 28, I still don't fucking know. Like, I'm still like, I've just moved to Liverpool from Manchester. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of music I'm doing and what it is I even want to be doing. Like, obviously I know I want to be writing music and performing music, but there's lots of other things that I want to do as well. That's another ADHD struggle. You just want to fucking do it all and be creative and everything that you can, and sometimes you just have to be strict with yourself and narrowing that down. I.e., okay, I'm going to write music and I'm going to have a podcast and that's all I'm going to do. Probably won't be. I'll probably have something new by next week. But I've gone off on a tangent here. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh yeah, so I thought, as a lot of people do, think that they would have it all figured out by a certain age. Like, I thought now that, like, whatever I'd be doing, I'd just be doing it and that would be it. But now I'm like, would I be fully happy if I did have it all figured out by now? Is it that I like of just constant, like, I mean, I feel like at the time I don't like it, like I'm stressed because I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But like, what am I doing with my life? But also it's exciting. Like, I would be fucking bored if I was like a Monday to Friday person, live for the weekend type, and then that was obviously, if that is like what you want to be doing, that is amazing for whoever wants to do that. But for me personally, it's just never been for me. So as much as it's stressful and tiring, I like a little bit to be, I don't want to say chasing because I feel like I'm not really chasing all the time, but just to constantly be finding out like what it is that I want and what I'm actually doing. And hopefully I'll just be one day like, okay, I'm doing it and I'm content. Maybe I'll never get to that, but that's just who I am. And like, if you are resonating with that, then yeah, don't be too hard on yourself when you feel that other people aren't feeling that. There is millions, probably billions of people that are similar. But with that as well, I don't want to feel like I'm trying to constantly reach a goal. Like, I just want to now write music because I enjoy writing music. I enjoy singing and performing, and I enjoy writing with other people. I love collaborating with other people. I probably write at my best when I am writing for other people or with other artists or producers, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that I want to be in the music world just for that, and not, I think when I was younger it was all about maybe like potential fame or having like the whole pop star status. Obviously when I was like quite a bit younger, and I think that drives you into like a different path. If it's you're doing something for like an end result or for like an additional reason, rather than I'm doing this because I love it and then anything additional to that is a bonus. Obviously we want to do it, we want to make money from it because that means that we can be doing that as a full-time thing. At the moment I'm not at all doing music as a full-time thing. I want to be clear about that and honest about that. But where am I going with this? I think that when when it's for like for another reason other than just I enjoy doing this and this gives me happiness or a purpose or whatever it is, the thing itself, when it's something else to that, that's when it's taking you on off track or on a different path. If that's what I'm thinking in my head. I don't know if that makes sense. I always thought I would be the type that would be like a female, I'm going to say a female passenger, but for people who don't know, I'll just say like a female Ed Sheeran, where it was just me and a guitar and a vocal, and everyone would fucking love that because people love shit like that. And I thought that that's the kind of style of music that I'd want to be performing. But I've just noticed that this cable is wrapped around my neck. I thought that I wanted that us to be in a specific genre of music, like a pop, acoustic-y style. The reason that I actually was going in that direction is because I thought that would give me a big fan base. I thought that would make me money. I thought that would be the way that I'd be able to do it as a career, or would get the most gigs. I can't think of anything more than that, but yeah, it got me the most money. Did I say that already? Several additional reasons to actually enjoying writing and performing that type of music, which I did and I do enjoy that style, but not as much as I am, not as much as I enjoy the electronic stuff that I've later come to discover and listen to, and that I'm more influenced and inspired by now. So that's made me realise that. But yeah, as much as I can sit down here and say, tell people to really have a good think about what it is that you want to be doing as a creative or as an artist, and the reason why, I could tell people to do that. But for me, I've found that myself, so maybe. But then, sometimes you just need to listen to something like that. I listen to motivational stuff, and then sometimes that gives me realizations of I don't know, just life things. But again, there's no right or wrong with anything, really. On that note, as I'm rambling on about my experience and finding certain things out for myself through these experiences, and to kind of listen to what people have got to say, but also find that through yourself. Another belief is that as much as, if you want to do 101 things, maybe not 101 is an exaggeration, but if there's 5 things that you really want to do, then you can fucking do them. I don't see what this problem is in having too many different things to do. This is a massive ADHD thing. People with ADHD will understand that. I think it's just about having strategies and goals for each one. I'm the prime example of this because I'm so bad for starting something and not finishing it, and this is why I really want to get guests on. I'm saying that this podcast I'm going to keep at it and maybe do it with the ambition of putting one out once a week, right? That might, don't quote me on that, because that might not happen, but I do want to manifest that. But this is why I want to have guests on, or just, people to come along and chat to, because that will give me that external pressure. So yeah, just having like something that will put that pressure on you to carry that out. I listened to something yesterday on a podcast, which was Diary of a CEO podcast, which I've been listening to quite a lot. This is my new thing that I like to listen to. And he was interviewing, I don't know who she was, to be honest. She was some like to do with psychology, and saying that if there's something that you think that you want to do and you're just not doing it, then that means that you actually don't want to do that. And I don't really agree with that. Like, I think for some people that's true, but like, I really fucking love writing music and performing music. I'm just shit at like getting to that point of, okay, I'm sat down writing music now, or I'm on stage performing. It's everything that's leading up to that. So it's finding the strategies, the people, the network, like everything that will help you get there. Because sometimes it's the process up to that is just draining, and it's not, I don't like the thing itself. Like right now with doing this, I'm really enjoying this. I love just chatting shit, but the process to get here was like I had to be like, obviously it's not that hard, like coming through and setting all this up, but I was like, oh, I've got to set up this mic and like this and that, like come through to Manchester so that I can actually like push myself to be like, okay, I'm doing this now. And then I got here, I'm like, oh, the lighting shit, like I'll come back and then I can get better lighting. I thought, no, I need to do this now. So just putting that pressure on yourself, like, sometimes it's not, that doesn't mean, if you do hear people saying that means that you don't want to do that. And I feel like that is unfair to people with ADHD, because there's so many things that we do love actually doing, and it's getting to that's like, I don't know why it's so difficult. I don't know why I can't just be like, okay, I'm going to write now, I'm going to sit here and write. I have to be like, I'm going to book out a studio, or I'm going to go to a coffee shop or something like that before I can do it, because I need that. That's not a pressure, but it's like the lead up to doing it. Like, I can't just sit anywhere and make myself do that. And if you've not got that problem, then I am so fucking jealous. So the last thing that I do want to be honest about as well is the sort of kind of imposter syndrome. That is another barrier when you're a creative. And like, even with this, sitting down and talking into a mic, it's taken a long time for me to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. Why is it so difficult to sit down and do this? Because I try and say that I don't care about what people think of me, but I, like, deep down I do, and I hate that I do. Like, I want to not. But it's even people like from back home who probably just don't give a shit about me. They obviously don't. People back home, there are people back home that do give a shit about me. I mean, I'm talking about people I went to school with, and just people that I've known, people in my family that I think that would be looking at me or listening to this or watching this and thinking, what the fuck is she doing? But like, I love seeing people doing something different. Not necessarily different, obviously there's thousands of podcasts and there's thousands of musicians and whatnot, but in like your small little hometown circle, how many people are actually being musicians or being a creative, building like doing a business, doing a podcast, doing whatever. Like, there's not many, for me anyway. And when I do see that, or even when I see like people traveling or just doing something that's a bit different, I just applaud it. Like, I love it. I mean, if you're not doing that, like, that's also fine. I'm not dissing people that are not doing what, like, I've just listed. They were just examples, but I just love seeing like people doing stuff that is making them happy and like potentially bringing joy to other people. And I think we need to like praise that. And if people don't praise it, then that's their problem. So with that, thank you very much for listening to this wee podcast episode. And hopefully I don't look back and think, oh, remember that time I done that one episode of a podcast? I might, and if I have, then that means I've lived and learned from it by then. Possibly. But yeah, hopefully I'll have more to talk about, more topics, get a few people to chat with, artists, creatives. If anyone is interested in talking about similar things that I've spoken about, or if you've got any ideas on anything else, if you just want to come on and have a chat, then yeah, let me know. Slide in those DMs. And I hope you've enjoyed listening. If you've not, I do apologise for wasting some of your listening time. But yeah, I hope someone's taken something from it. And please like and subscribe. If that's even a thing. Is that a thing for podcasts? Oh my god, I really don't know what I'm doing here. Bye.